I'm McGrath, and I'm going to talk a little bit about how to line up cabinet doors, which you need to do when you're installing new cabinets, and they're also in the older cabinets in a house, the house things shift, so you need to line them up after a year or two. You might need to realign the cabinet doors. But when you're installing new cabinets as well, things never go up exactly as they were made in the factory, and there's always a little bit of warpage in the wood and things are a little bit off level. So you need to align the doors once they're installed. This is just a little demo cabinet that I've got set up in my shop here, just to sort of show how things are done. And I'm using, fortunately, with these European style hinges, which most modern cabinets have, lining them up is not all that hard, and I'm going to show how to do that. The trick is understanding that in each hinge there are 3 special screws which can shift the door up and down, in and out, and forwards and back relative to the cabinet. So because you have kind of a 3-dimensional possibility to adjust the screws or to adjust the hinges on each door, you can take these cabinets and line them up nicely. For starters, whenever I install cabinets, I always design them so there's a 1/8 gap all the way around. So there's a 1/8 gap across the top, where I usually have some kind of filler piece or crown bolt. Usually I have a side gable or some kind of filler piece on the side, so there's a 1/8 gap here, a 1/8 gap here, 1/8 gap here. It would be flush with the bottom of the cabinet, and a 1/8 gap all the way across the top and between each of the doors. So all the doors on my cabinets are designed to have a 1/8 gap all the way around. So in order to see how to achieve that, because right now they're all out of, obviously you can see they're not lined up and they're not even closing properly, you need to understand how to shift these hinges. So I've got a little demonstration hinge here. I'll just sit it on a block of wood, it's easier to show. So here are the 3 adjustment screws. There's a front one, a back one, and a little one on the side plate, which is an up and down one. So this front one, what it does is it shifts, I'm going to show you how, there. Okay, it shifts, which is the, yeah, okay, there you can see. It shifts the door, like if you're looking at the door at the front, it shifts it this way and that way. So it shifts it across the face of the cabinet. There's the face of your cabinet. So I'm going to turn that screw and you'll see how much movement there is there. Can you see? Now it's this top, the door is going out relative to the cabinet, and I'm going to bring it back. Can you see that movement there? When I tighten it up, you can see the door is actually overlapping the face of the cabinet. When I go the other way, you can see that movement. Okay, there you go. Now, this is the way it would sit. The door doesn't even cover what would be the face of the cabinet. There'd be a gap, big gap. The door would actually be sticking out over the face of the cabinet when it's shut. Okay, so that's the front screw. So I'm just going to put it back kind of in the middle again. So that's that screw, right? Now the next screw is this little one here, which is on the plate. This loosens off the screw on the plate, and if you do that, the whole thing, I don't know if you can see that, will shift up and down. You see, the whole hinge will go up and down relative to the plate which is fastened to the cabinet. So if you got that one, here's your door. Once it's loosened off, the whole door slides up and down relative to the cabinet. Now once you get it in the place you want, you just retighten that screw. And then that'll stay where you need it. The final one you need to worry about is this one here, the back. This is the back screw on the actual hinge right here. So if you turn that one, what that does, it makes the whole door go in and out relative to the cabinet. Sorry about the compressor noises. Anyway, so you can see, watch when I turn this screw, you can see a little gap there. Look, it's getting bigger. And now, you see a little gap? It's right there. That little gap is getting, that's the distance between the door and the face of the cabinet. So we're tightening it up against the cabinet, and now we're shifting it off the face of the cabinet. Okay, so those are your 3 screws. So by using those 3 screws, you can take the whole wall. This is a wall of upper cabinets, so just as I've got set up, as I said, for a display thing, a practice wall in my shop. But you can move them up and down, side to side, and also in and out relative to the face of the cabinets, because you not only want them to line up all the way around the side, you want them to be flush all the way across the face and flush with the filler pieces at the top and the sides. Okay, so you want to flush with these, with this filler, like this gable and this filler piece on the end, and flush with each other. So it's all flat across the top and an even 1/8 gap. So the best way to accomplish that is don't try and start in the middle and line up the 2, because then nothing else is going to even up. Start on either side. Start on the sides with your 1/8 gap and work towards the middle, and then once you get there, you may have to make minor adjustments. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to just open that one, and this one's, I'm going to come out a bit at the bottom. Okay, in at the top. There we go. And how does that look? That's pretty good. Now I'm going to raise this one up ever so slightly. I'm going to loosen off the up and down ones. Just raise it up just a touch, just so it's maybe a little more flush at the bottom. And one thing you can remember for the up and down ones, these hinges tend to have a little tiny bit of sag. So if you want to flush with the bottom, when you're tightening these, sometimes it's even better to just keep it up like a millimeter or a 1/16 of an inch, right? So we're pretty, I think we're pretty even there. I want to go a little more out here. And the other thing I want to do is I'm just going to bring it flush, tighten up the back one here, just to make that kind of flush across there. Okay, so that one's good. I'm going to do this one next, line it up. So where are we at? First of all, I see we're hanging way down, so let's move the whole thing up to start off. Just to get, so I'm going to take the little up and down screws, loosen them off, and just kind of shift the whole door up. There we go. So I've shifted everything up. Pretty even across the top and bottom. I'm looking pretty close to the bottom. I'm going to just move it out just a tad here, just to get this. Now, another thing to remember is, if it looks good, it is good. Really what you're trying to line this up visually, okay? This isn't something you need to take a level for, because the whole room might not be level. You want to make it look good. So it's really an eyeball thing. So let's go back to this side now. And we'll start kind of tidying this side up. I'm going to pull it out a bit at the bottom here. So I'm going to move the front one. And that looks not bad to start out with. Now this one you can see is way off. So I'm going to, what am I going to do? The bottom's got to come out. So I'm going to move the front screw or the bottom hinge. Looking better. And the front screw on the top hinge. Just to bring it back a bit. That's starting to look better. You can see the line still isn't even there, so we're going to go out a little more. There we go. And I'm going to drop it down just a touch so it looks a little more even across the top. I'm going to do the little up and down screw at the back or on the side plate. There we go. Now loosen them both off a bit. We're getting pretty close to even. My cell phone's bugging me. Sorry about that. Call them back later. Okay, so what are we doing? Gonna move it out a bit at the bottom. So we're out at the bottom. Now, one thing you can see, these two aren't flush. This is sticking out, so I need to draw it back a bit with the back screw, just to try and make those two a little more even. Well, you know what? Maybe, yeah, I go back a bit more and top the front one out. That's closer. And I think I'm going to drop it down a little more. Okay? So, drop it down just a touch. Okay, now you can see we're getting a nice 1/8 gap around here and here. This is pretty close. This one is close. I'm going to just push the front screw, twist it to push it out a little bit. I think in a touch. In a touch, there we go. Down a little bit. I'm going to just loosen off a little fastening plate at the back. Just drop it down ever so slightly and then tighten it up. Okay. I think I maybe want it up a bit. With these little up and down screws too, a trick, if you want to just move it just a fraction of an inch, loosen one off and push it up, and that'll actually give it enough. Both. Maybe these doors aren't identical size. That will actually give it enough movement to shift it a bit. So we're getting the. Okay. Now we're even around here. Let's close this one and see where we are. We're good, except we're way down. So I want to move this one up. I'm going to loosen off the little screws at the back or on the side plates, so I can lift the whole thing up a bit and then tighten them on. So where are we looking now? We're pretty good. I think I'm going to move this one out. Well, I could go down just slightly. Here again, these little up and down screws, you can move them one at a time, like loosen one off, slide down a bit, move the other one off. If you slide, okay, now we're flush along the bottom. We got a nice line along the top. This line is just slightly bigger than I want it to be. So I'm going to slide them all over. Whoop, sorry. Almost like a half turn, just a quick little turn. Just widen that gap a little bit. Okay. Then I'm going to move this one over. Okay. A little more. And I'm going to move this one over a little bit. And this one is going to move it a little in. I'm going to move the back screw just to move the whole thing a little back closer to the door, or I should say to the cabinet, so that it, there we go. And I want, I'm going to move this one just a little bit more towards the center. I think that's a nice, pretty nice gap there. And all I want to do, I think, is move this one a little bit more towards the center. And I'm going to move this one a bit. Just a little bit more. Just a half turn. And I think I'm going to take this one a half turn as well. Just So there you have it. You've got a nice 1/8 gap all the way around, or I should say all the way around the trim on the edge of the cabinet. 1/8 gap. I'm going to bring this one in a bit. Then move the back screw, just tighten it against the cabinet a little bit there. So 1/8 gap between all the doors, flush with the bottom, and it's flat across the surface. So that's how you line up European hinges. One thing you should always remember too, once you're done, step back from it and just take a look and do your visual, because ultimately, the important thing is it looks nice. And before you go on to your next task, whatever it is, make sure that, I always tell people, sit down and imagine you're eating your breakfast cereal here, and take a look at it for a couple of minutes and say, if I have to look at that every day for the next 10 years while I'm drinking my coffee, am I going to be comfortable with that? And if you are, then go on to the next thing. Okay, thank you. Bye.